My mom, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She passed away before I graduated 8th grade. I feel like God was stripping away things that I was leaning on for hope, for security. He became my one and only thing. I also felt through different moments that God actually wanted to continue things in me that he started in my mom. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, you probably didn't know that. I grew up in a home where we went to church. My mom was a pastor's kid, so I was a pastor's grandkid. I have a twin brother. We also grew up in a K through 8th Christian school, and that's where I feel like I got a lot of exposure to Christianity, to stories about Jesus, and had the opportunity to learn more about him. So it was about when I was in 4th grade that I started to comprehend that, oh, there's a God who died on the cross for me and resurrected so I could have a relationship with him. Around that time was when I started to talk to him more, just about little things like, oh, God, can you help me with my homework, with this project that I'm doing? And that was the extent of my relationship with God. In 7th grade, I started to ask God more, like, Lord, I want to get to know you even deeper. I heard that quiet times or, devos are good, but like, how do I actually do that? And so that was my question to God. Around that time, my family was also just going through a lot of different things. My dad had lost his job at some point, and he also couldn't drive because of health issues. And then my mom, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and was going through chemotherapy treatments, but she was also like taking care of my brother and I, so providing financially, physically, spiritually, emotionally for all of us. And so my mom continued to do her treatments, and eventually it stopped working. So my mom went off of the treatments and she resorted to seeking God and prayer. Around that time, I was honestly kind of confused. I was like, what's going on? I'm not really aware of the situation or what could possibly happen. I was kind of in denial, I think. Eventually, my mom's health deteriorated and she passed away before I graduated 8th grade. And so in that moment, I was like, oh wow, it's just my dad, my brother, and I, and what are we gonna do now? I felt God tell me that, yes, while he could provide through my mom, that he was my main provider. I also felt like he enveloped my brother and I with his love through the community that we had at the Christian school, that I wouldn't have been able to experience him in the way that I did if we weren't placed there. And so I also felt the reality of Romans 8:28, that all things work together for the good of those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. Another thing that I feel like Lord gave me was just an eternal perspective, because I really wanted to believe that my mom was with Jesus and that there was an eternity. So I feel like all these things combined served as a catalyst for my faith, and it answered my 7th grade prayer of wanting to know Jesus deeper. Granted, it was in a way that I didn't expect. It was the start of many things, and not long after that, I started going on short-term mission trips. Fast forward to college, I had the opportunity to go to Côte d'Ivoire in West Africa, where we shared the gospel on college campuses. Before I went on the trip, I went through a period of just a lot of anxiety and depression. I feel like God was stripping away things that I was leaning on for hope, for security, for emotional stability. He became my one and only thing before this trip happened. And yeah, in the midst of all of that, I had one question that I asked God. I was like, Lord, what am I doing at the college that I'm at? What am I doing here? And what am I doing like in life? And so I gave that to the Lord, and I went on this trip. And throughout this trip, I feel like God was putting on my heart that, oh, he was calling me to do ministry. But I was like, what kind of ministry? Like, I believe that my life is a ministry, you know, as Christians and followers of Jesus. We are to be a light wherever we go. And so I was just wondering, is there a more specific kind of calling? And during this trip, I also felt through different moments that God actually wanted to continue things in me that he started in my mom. And so I held those two things as I went throughout these 5 weeks in West Africa. And then when we got to the last day before we were leaving, one of my leaders of the trip actually compiled a video of different clips from the team's family members. So she just gathered 3 clips from my dad, my aunt, and my uncle, who is my mom's brother. And they just shared a blessing for me. One of them really stuck out to me, which is my uncle's video. And to give you context about my uncle, I feel like after my mom passed, he was the main like point person for my brother and I. He would give us advice, and like if anything major happened, he would be the person that we went to. I feel like if I were to make a huge decision, I would go to him. I felt like he was a very logical person too, of like, oh, before you do anything crazy, like make sure you finish school, get all the things straight and be stable in life before you engage in, you know, what your heart desires. And so that was a perspective that I had of him. So he sent in a video and he was like, Deborah, I wish you a good trip. God bless you. You know, when your mom was around your age, she actually wanted to be a missionary. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, you probably didn't know that. But she wanted to dock on a boat that went to South America for 2 years. But your grandpa didn't let her. And so 2 of her friends went and she just supported them. And then he was telling me that she supported this other missionary friend up until like a few years before she passed. And so mission work was very much on her heart. But this was something that I didn't know. Then in the video, my uncle says, you got her genes and you have her DNA, which is very hard to escape. So if you feel a calling from God, listen to it, and we'll be very supportive of you. Mind you, I didn't talk to my uncle at all throughout this trip. And so this is very confirming of me of like, oh wow, like the things that God wanted to continue in me that started in my mom was that she wanted to be a missionary. And this is something that he put on my heart during that trip. Actually, a year later, my uncle passed away. And so I really feel like it was the kindness of God that he used him, someone that my brother and I went to, you know, after my mom, to encourage me in my faith. After Côte d'Ivoire, I had the opportunity to go on other short-term mission trips to countries like in the Middle East, in South America. And so I feel like God would grow my heart for all the people and all the places that I went to. I was pretty open to wherever God would send me. And so it was more a matter of where's the next location that he would have me minister to or minister with. I think after the many other trips, I was like, okay, like I don't think I'm going back to Asia. I think I'll just go back there to visit family and to eat, you know. It was probably on the bottom of my list. But then it was last year where God gave me the opportunity to go back to East Asia, which I had gone before. I got to intercede and pray alongside brothers and sisters there and see our prayers be answered before our eyes. And this trip really marked me and stirred up my heart for the people of Asia once again. He showed me that, like, just as he is the God of Esther, of Moses and Joseph, Josiah, all these figures in the Bible, that he is the same God that I'm connecting with, that we do life with today, and that it's possible to be called for your own nation. And so I felt that calling from God that, yeah, I actually want you to pray into your people, or pray for your people and with your people. So that's how he drew me back and where my heart is at right now. Since then, I feel like the pursuit of this calling has not been linear. Even after graduating college, it's been a journey to figure out what this even looks like. I thought, oh, I'd be out already, or I'd be serving overseas, living up my overseas dreams, you know. And so through all of this, I feel like God's been reminding me that actually it's not a place or a people, a destination or ministry that he calls me to, but that I'm first called to the person that is Jesus. He's repatterning my mind to the reality that I already have all that I've been searching for, and that is Jesus. And I'm encouraged and challenged to go back to my first love and to make daily choices, to listen to his voice above any others, to just pursue him and only him, not him plus other things, and continue to know him into eternity. My name is Debora, and this is my story of realizing that I already have all that I'm searching for.